Hi everyone, my name's Claire, not Crystal, and this channel's about empowering your divine feminine, divine masculine energy within you and within a twin flame connection. And oh, that was short and sweet, wasn't it? A bit to the point. Right, so like I said, I'm doing a Rumi card every day. Not so much pertaining to the day, but because astrology is, well, it's just all going on right now. And then it was just something that I'd noticed when I was watching the live back from the other day that, and I could say because she'd actually commented there, Tina had said about well, what she was describing was the Kazemi, but the confused matters again, and it's fine because, well, I suppose no, it's fine. It's not a big deal because I'm now just pointing it out, but. It's Tina had said in the comments, sorry, see, I'm doing it now. This is funny, right? I'm laughing. I can see the irony because Mercury in Virgo is about it's about getting it right, and it's about perfectionism, and it's about eye to detail, and it's about all that kind of stuff, right? And look at it's quite funny. It's like I've noticed somebody saying Venus goes direct on the 13th, which is tomorrow, and I'm like, whoa, hang on a minute. Venus does not go direct until the 3rd or 4th of September. Where are you getting that from? And then Tina she's basically, she's put a comment on the other video saying that she meant the Kazemi. And then on the last video I'd done, she said, oh no, it's a Kazemi. But it's just the confusion's come is because the comment that I saw on the live was the 13th. It was something about, the 13th's a good time to set your intentions because that's when Venus goes direct. So I just, for every, just so that, because that is important, that it doesn't go direct until the 3rd or 4th of September. And even with that, that is only when Venus goes direct and there's still a post shadow. So, so just basically, so thank you for, it's good that basically Tina brought that up because I would have mentioned the Kazemi roundabout now when I'm doing this. But I mean, you can go and read it out yourself. But basically, like, it depends which way you look at it, right? Yes, it is a magical time of setting intentions, but every new moon is a magical time of setting intentions. And actually, though, like, the Kazemi is tomorrow, so that's Sunday. So right now we're in a Cancer moon. And that will still be a Cancer moon, and then right after that we're in a dark moon. And typically, dark moons are one of my favourite times of the moon cycle, and that is not wise to. It's not a good time to set intentions. Basically, it's good to. It depends if you look about it. It's good to sort of ruminate on them and like sit in quiet contemplation and meditation. It's not a good time to act on anything though, typically a dark moon. But the new moon in Leo is a few days later. The new moon in Leo is Wednesday. And so after that, but like I said, it's always wise to wait until it's actually after the new moon. So anyone that's done my new moon workshops with me, over the past 8 years in my memberships, you'll know that I strictly would never do the new moon workshop until after the new moon. Because of that, just because I believe so much in that, letting the energies settle a little bit, yeah. But the Kazemi, I mean, you can go look it up. I'm not going to be describing it to the exact because it's all to do with where the sun is positioned. But like I said, the Leo sun is my favourite anyway. Like the Leo season, which is Leo sun, but the Leo moon is my favourite moon. So this new moon is a really exciting new moon, and it's basically it's interesting. It's like it's everything that I channeled. Like basically to me, if you want to utilize the energies of the Kazemi and the leading into the new moon in Leo, it's everything that I said. Like because we are still in the Venus retrograde in Leo, it is very important. Yeah, I said that actually. I said this all in the last few videos, but I'll just say it again to stress for the people that don't get what this means. And I think actually on that note, that's why a lot of the times I don't really go with the crowd like that, where I'll home in on some of the big massive stuff that's happening until, unless it comes on my radar near the time, because you'll find I've actually just channeled exactly what it's about. Because the Venus retrograde in Leo is about, like, that was like when I said in the last few videos, are you happy in your love life? Are you happy in your job? Are you happy in your life in general? Because Leo is about happiness, it's about following your heart. And that's what this, because I mean, that's what this energy, or the new, like I said, to me, it's the same. You can tell, for me, it's like one and the same thing. It's like, it really just to put, like, for me, actually, in my, where it is in my chart, it's an incredibly important time for me. So it is always wise to know where any energy is landing in your chart, and that's what I can do for you in a session. But yeah, basically because that was all sort of brought, so that's clear as mud. But anyway, whatever. The Kazemi is the 13th, which is Sunday, and Venus retrograde does not go direct until the 4th of September, and then we've got the post shadow. So for me, when it comes to things to do with love, business, valuing yourself, but I would say really like love and business stuff, you want to be taking it very slow when it comes to the matters of the heart and business and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? Like I've said for the last few weeks, people getting married, engaged this time, dodgy. I'm just gonna be blunt, it's dodgy. And even if you, well, yeah, if you, I suppose if you get married, you get married. Do you know what I mean? You just, time will tell. But like, so here's to lead in a good, example. But see, it's good when things like that happen, because I didn't see that comment live because I was so in the zone in a trance. Because if I had seen it live, I would have been like, I would have said, like, I was like, no, that doesn't go direct. And then Tina would have been like, oh, wait a minute, maybe I'm getting mixed up, and it's, you know what I mean? So these things happen, but it's good because it draws attention to it so that we can, put it right. So there must be some kind of oh my god, that does have meaning. Wow, that does have meaning. Right, okay, because what I was basically going to say is this Venus cycle that is coming to a close, like tomorrow, is oh, sorry, see what I mean? I feel, this is so funny, I feel like I need to fucking start again because I've just been highlighting that it isn't tomorrow. Now I'm getting pulled in it. So just to be clear again, the Kazemi energy, all that, the Venus star point, whatever, that magical kind of energy, it is about, I would really even say now, today's the 12th. Oh yeah, it is. Today's the 12th. So today's like the last sort of heightened energy, people believe, of the Lionsgate portal. But, and also can I just say, actually, the 13th to me is special anyway, because it's divine feminine goddess energy. So even that, you could see is special. But the Kazemi energy is the 13th, right? And so my input would be, yeah, just ruminate and think about your intentions, which is what I'm just sort of pointing out. That is what you would do anyway. Well, that's what I would do at a dark moon. And that is like basically, it's pretty much right at the dark moon, because the new moon is the 16th. So I would deem the 14th and the 15th the dark moon. And the dark moon is not when you want to be doing a whole lot. You got to be resting, going inwards, meditating. And so it just depends which way you look at it. You can meditate. What I would say is a good time to meditate on your desires and think about what you want. And from memory, I'm pretty sure, yeah, that'll be something along the lines of whatever Tina had said during the live. You know what I mean? So it was just that thing about the Venus retrograde doesn't end yet, unfortunately. So, but like I said, I've got 6 retrograde energies in my chart. So you've got to work with what your mama gave you, as they say. Do you know what I mean? But what is important, I'm glad that all that sort of was highlighted. But that Venus retrograde cycle. So I'd spoke about this probably about a month ago or whatever, or a few weeks ago, that it links back to August 2015, right? And that is the cycle that is closing out to begin a new one. And that's what interests me, because I don't know about you, but I can think of lots of stuff that was going on in my life and other people's lives around August 2015. And so something was starting up then, an 8-year specifically cycle of something to do with these parts of your life. Do you know what I mean? Like, so again, Venus is what you value. It's your money, it's your love life. It's a bit so effectively closing a big cycle in your love life for some people, and I can think where that applies to many people, many clients, and many people in my life, and think about it as well, because of what I'm saying, because Venus retrograde. If I'm saying it's not wise to start anything in your love life in a Venus retrograde because it's on shaky grounds. Reflect on what was going on in your life August 2015, like who were you in a relationship with? Perhaps some of you were even, I don't know, like there will be some people listening to this that, yeah, did get engaged or get married or, started serious relationships or started serious things in your life. It's quite likely that something is coming to a close, or perhaps it already came to a close a while ago, but it's quite likely that something is wrapping up some kind of karmic cycle for all of us somewhere in your life. Yeah, I can definitely think back to then. It was, there was just take your pick. That was, I mean, the thing is, like, I went through a huge shift and, ascension, spiritual awakening around the, depends which way you look at 2010, 2012. Definitely 2012 always really sticks out to me. Again, that was when the world was meant to end, the Mayan prophecy and all that, and it just shifted. And then that, happened again. It was the first wave of, it was definitely a big wave of when a lot of twins woke up fully, is what I would say, and I was one of them. And what else about that? But yeah, and then, if we're talking about August 2015, for me, what really sticks out is that was right before I considered the heightened part of my dark night of the soul. But again, because of when you're feeling like that, it's really quite difficult to put a definitive, oh, it started here and it maybe when it ended, but it's quite hard to say when it started, because I believe a lot of people in the dark night soul from again, I'm a dark night soul teacher. I don't like to call myself that, but that is it is a speciality in mine, because I went through mine for so long. And I was told while I was in mine, they were like, look, we're putting you through it, basically. We're going to put you through it because we need you to help people through theirs, and we need to teach you what this is all about. And like I said, I was in mine for quite a while. What I'm saying is it's kind of the jury's out when it started, because I had a lot of awful stuff that happened in my life. Like I said, really, I would even say from 2012 right through, to 2000, fucking hell, definitely 2012 right through to 2016. But even, right through to 2017, like I said, like Davina, it was just all these, we just add in the whole, to be honest with you, see, when I actually think back, I would actually say, never mind 8 years, it's more like the last 9, 10 years. But I mean, it's not a coincidence. Think about it, like, I've been conscious of my twin flame journey for 13 years this year. And the biggest part of the separation really has been like just short of 10 years, really. It's that's when stuff went weird, is how I describe it. But basically, so it kind of makes sense to me, you know what I mean, that when it's about love, that definitely 100% the past 8 years for me have not been the best, but really, like, it's beyond that. So you can, like say, but I can even reflect on things to do with money, back starting from like August 2015. There was a whole knock-on effect of other things that I was guided to do as part of my calling and help people out, that had an awful knock-on effect of, so I was helping people, but then because I was helping people and overextending myself, it left me in a whole load of debt. So, it's anyway, on blah, 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 blah. You get it. It's hopefully there's some kind of difficult cycle in love, money, romance, or to do with your happiness, to do with just basically valuing yourself. Because I suppose with the things I'm kind of talking about there, that's what it was really about. I was being taught a lesson in how to truly value my own happiness, value myself overall, and value my self-love. And that's what it all taught me how to do, is to put myself first. But and that's why I teach, oh my god, other people that do that just fell out. It's a time for healing, connecting, mending, releasing, right? I think that's jumped out, because that's basically what I was getting at, is that I think that's why they're making me home in on this, is it's like, basically, it's like you said, like the time right before a new moon is the dark moon, and it is a time for this. It's a time for, and so is the Cancer moon right now. Cancer moon is not a time for, starting big new things and, oh, let's all have fun. Like, no, it's for feeling your feelings, for clearing trauma, for, resting, meditating, and that's why that video was titled "Rest, Beloved," because we can get very, very sleepy, tired, but also it is Leo season. But I do just feel, I feel this is reflective of like crossing that bridge, like closing that cycle on whatever it is was came up for you since August 2015, and getting ready to start a brand new cycle with which hopefully ushers in a lot of happiness for you over the next 8 years. So and beyond and beyond. But yeah, that's just what always fascinates me when I've been looking at things in my own life, or when I'm looking at other people's and clients' charts, is if you did start anything in these areas of love, romance, business, well, that's the same thing, business, any like sort of big life decisions, it can quite often be the case where, something goes a bit tits up or wrong with it, you know what I mean? Or it isn't quite as simple. It's like I said, if anyone, there'll be people in our lives that, if anyone's got engaged around that time, like during a Venus retrograde, it wouldn't be uncommon that breaks down. And it could go on for years. Like, people could be married for years, but it just means that at some point they're like that it's inevitable they'll split up, because it was created and like I said, Venus retrograde, it only happens every 2.5 years. So, that's why it's important to know your astrology. That if you knew your astrology, you just wouldn't, you definitely, why would you get engaged at that time when you could just wait until it's out of that, would be my feeling on it. Because something will just go wrong. So, anyway, blah, 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 blah. Right, okay, so, and so not only is there that good news about the we're not out of Venus retrograde for quite a while, but this is why I've been saying, like, look, you might see these other people like putting out things about like, oh yeah, like, because it's funny to do it, like, Venus is now direct or Mercury is now direct and all of that, but like when you really know how important the pre-shadow is and the post-shadow, like we're now in the pre-shadow of the Mercury retrograde, so do you know what I mean? It's like, you wouldn't celebrate, because it's basically like, I might like put it this way. And again, remember, I've got 6 retrogrades, so retrogrades are amazing. That's why I'm so attention to detail, because I have got that very slowed down energy that I don't miss a trick. And discernment, which is why I'm always telling people about discernment, like, check in with what resonates with you, and all that kind of stuff. Like, I just feel on a very, very deep level other things that a lot of times people miss. And but what I will say is, yeah, going by this time last year, pretty much that all, I would say the Mercury retrogrades all of last year, the last 2 towards the end of the year, I found some of the worst times of my life, some of the most worst confusing times of my life, to be perfectly honest. Like, they were really bad. They were bad for clients, just things happening all over the place, or U-turns, or getting the rug pulled from under you on the twin flame journey. Like, definitely people that were getting closer to what felt like communication or reunion or union to a twin, and then suddenly, like, absolute, like, turn of events that, like, they're off with someone else, or going back to someone of their past again. That's Mercury retrograde stuff. People hook up with their ex, or Venus retrograde right now. If that kind of stuff happens now, even more so, people hook up with their ex, because Venus is actually love. But you see, you could go back to like a dodgy business deal or something as well. It's a time. This is a minefield of, you could get tricked and hoodwinked. So that's why it's wise for everyone to take it slow. And what else? Yeah, and so Mercury retrograde starts on the 23rd August, which isn't far away. And that is going to be in Virgo. So, like I say, meticulous, eye to detail. It's a perfectionist. It just wants things to be correct, and that's what I'm laughing at. It's so funny. Like, some people be like, I don't even give a fuck. I like the way that well, basically put it this way, it's like my other astrologer medium friend had said years ago, is that's my gift, is that I break down astrology in a relatable way. So I think that's sometimes why sometimes I just completely miss saying what something is. So but yeah, but the Cazimi and the Venus star point is, because they're pulling in the stars in the cup, it is magical, and it is one of these rare things as well. But there's that many things going on this year. So again, it was more just the fact that, yeah, Venus is still very much retrograde until the 4th of September. And what else was I going to say? So to me, it's just because to me it's like the new moon's more exciting. Right. I should be excited though, because where it is in my chart is really, but I'm already feeling it happening. It's very heightened. It's very heightened energy. Yeah, so we'll be out of the Mercury retrograde. The 15th of September is when it'll go direct, I believe. Don't quote me on that though, but I'm pretty sure it is. And but then then we've got the post shadow. So to me, in my head, we're not out of quite a lot of confusing energy until the end of September. So sorry to be the bearer of bad news there, but that's the way that I look at it. That yeah, like even it's quite interesting that actually, because it's like even though we come out the Venus retrograde in the 4th of September, you've still then got the few weeks of it being in the shadow of it, and we're already in the middle of a Mercury retrograde by then, and all these both those elements are about going back to the past. So, but you see, this is what's kind of cool, is some people will be going back to the past, and the past is a twin flame, and this is all great. But you can see how, but some people will be going back to the past, and it's still karmic stuff. So there's a bit of a mixed bag, but also, even if you are twin flames that get together during this energy, I think that's wise for both twins to sort of take on board that caution is needed, like that's why you need to take it slow, because there's been a lot of hurt in these connections, and I think that's just inevitable anyway, that you're gonna be a bit wary. I think wary is the word, and I would say that is wise. It's so this could even be together. It's a time for healing, connecting, and mending, and releasing together. But you don't need to worry about that, because you'll not be thrown together until it's time. And like I've said before, even if you are thrown together and you think it's time, it's probably just a wee reunion to show you, like, can you handle this yet? And then you're like, fuck no, I can't. Like, self-reflection, reflecting each other, being honest with self-wisdom, clarity, transformation, shadow work. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I would say really, it's when we get into Virgo season, which isn't far away, that is the hermit energy. So it's, if there's not a whole lot going on in your love life, like, just go inwards and do that shadow work. But if there is, that's brilliant. Enjoy it. Don't put your life on hold because of the all about the place astrology, because some of us are born with all about the place astrology. Hello. But also it can be magical, but just don't rush it and use your discernment and go slow. That's what retrogrades are about. And just, don't be tricked by energies that are there to trick you, basically. But that's what Mercury retrograde in Virgo, if you pay attention to the details, will help you with, slow down. Right, okay. Right, okay. Well, I'm shuffling these again, so why are we shuffling this? We've got the Rumi card. First light, beginning a new, look at that, wow. Beginning a new cycle. So again, if you've totally sort of missed that it's like, I love it, because like, if I hadn't noticed Tina saying that it was Venus direct, or whatever it was she said, you know what I mean, that's what she'd say. She hadn't mentioned the Kazemi, right? But I knew that I could, it's like, well, because she said now that is what she meant, like, that's easy done. But it's like, if she hadn't done that, all that chat wouldn't. So it's got something to do with this, basically. It is beginning a new cycle either way. Whether you see it as beginning a new cycle, the Venus cycle, or the 8-year thing that I just said, or whether you see it as beginning a new cycle because it's a new moon in Leo, it's all beginning a new cycle. Do you know what I mean? I do truly believe that these retrogrades all link to one another. And also we're coming up for eclipse season 2, which is important. And I've always said, you know, I know I've spoken about this before, but there's been eclipses that I've had over the past 13 years or longer, definitely, that I've, like, things have happened in my life. Like, definitely I can think back to one, actually it's nearly about this. Like, I can think to an eclipse that I had 9 years ago, almost. Yeah, it's probably going to be, yeah, it'll be 9 years ago almost to the date of probably the first full moon eclipse. And I always said, because I had a crazy synchronicity, a twin flame one, I always said, I was like, look, something's going to link to this day in the future, and I don't know when. It could be 2 years from now, it could be 5 years from now, it could be 10 years from now. And so there might be something in that for you. Do you mean it's not like you don't keep track of it? It'll just be, it might even be like further down the line, you're like, oh my god, like on this day, like 8 years ago, this happened, or on this day, like 9 years ago, this happened. And it's just, but we're beginning, something is ending, you're crossing the bridge from an ending to a new beginning, and we're beginning a new cycle. So love it. Right, what else do you need to know? Oh my god, ascending the mountain, keep going forward. Yeah, and I mean, it's funny because although it says keep going forward, ascend the mountain, that feels like it was like, that's like what Nick said the other day, like it felt like it was moving through treacle to try and explain all of that, because it is a bit of a, like, you know, no wonder there was a mix up with that in the chat, because it's like, it is a bit of a fucking, it is confusing, all the different stuff that's going on. And to be honest with you, it's why it's like I knew that Kazemi thing was coming up, but I don't think I would, because I do these every day. I would have mentioned it on the day, but it's like what I'm doing. But it's like, I could have easily actually like not mentioned it, basically, if I'd forgot, is what I'm saying. But it's like, it's pretty much, it is exactly energy I've channeled anyway. Like, it's all the stuff I say anyway. Like, you know, it's a good time to set your intentions, and at the dark moon, like I said, I always say stuff about going inwards, and so, but it is special. So, right, but keep going forward. It is like moving through treacle with this energy. But again, I'm used to it with 6 retrogrades. So, and yeah, open your heart to joy, and that's what Leo season's about. You could get bogged down with all the crazy astrology, right? The good, the bad, and the ugly, and the messed up. But it's about having fun right now. And rainbow blessings are showering in your life. And I really do believe when you focus on the fun, that's when the blessings come. But if you focus too much on the, which actually, bringing it back to that's what Tina's point was. Okay, I can't fucking remember, because it was like, I never seen half these comments when it was live. But it's just basically, this is a magical time of setting intentions, which that's not wrong, it is. But if you miss setting your intentions tomorrow, it's still a magical time, you know what I mean? Because really, you want to be setting your intentions on the new moon, which is 3 days later. So, but definitely be, if you can do something special, like meditate or something on the Sunday in that energy, you're definitely going to, you're not going to not benefit from it. So, I'm actually, I was thinking about it, that's quite funny. Oh my god, wow. Wow. That's how, I never use these cards. How powerful is that? And again, rather than the Kazemi, I feel that's, so again, thanks Tina, because it's like, that has led me into talking about that 8-year cycle thing again somehow. So yeah, it really is closing a door. It's a completion on the past 8 years of some sort for you. And like I said, I know what it is for me. Wow, I'm just amazed, because I rarely use these cards, and they are magical. Do we need any more from this? And it's big changes with the 5. Feast of plenty, choices and their consequences. And again, I feel this is about, it is time to make a choice now. And I feel the energy of the 20th of August is going to be significant as well. And I feel it's something about that. You see, the 20th of August is going to be the last few days, or getting towards the end of Leo season. So I feel it's like, there's going to be some sort of choice. Something about the 20th of May could be significant there as well. Yeah, this is about, I think this is about like divine masculine energies, regardless of your gender or anyone that resonates with. It's about the choices and their consequences that you make with this new cycle coming up and closing the door on old ones. Or this could be about past stuff as well. It's about the choices that I feel like everyone can resonate with this. The choices that you made around that time, August 2015, or before that, had their consequences, and we all went down different paths that we were absolutely meant to learn and grow. That is just an absolute given. I don't believe in mistakes, you know what I mean? It's like divine mistakes is what I call them. But it's now time to close the door on whatever's caused unhappiness. Yeah, that feels like that's going to speak to whoever it needs to. What the fuck? Because it is a sacred contract that is coming in. So this is absolutely channeling the energy of choices have their consequences. I feel this is about people that were, it's like they just said to me taken off the path, but again, I don't see it's taken off the path, but again, that is what I heard. It's like, if you're kind of taken away from something that would have brought you a lot of happiness at the time, that is now closing the door on it, and you've learned the lessons. And again, I can think of loads of things in my own life and clients' life that makes sense with. To begin a new cycle, and I would say it's in love because of Venus. Again, it can be business stuff in that too, or just like I said, a cycle and valuing yourself. Because of Venus retrogrades in Leo right now, it's about happiness. It's about closing the door on that cycle and beginning a new cycle and a new sacred contract. Yeah, it does in covenant. Like it really does feel like this is twin flames that basically, like you either both of you in some sort of way were led down different paths away from the sacred contract, and now you've got an opportunity to be together. So this isn't actually everyone, but it will speak to who it needs to, and it's a balancing act. Yeah, and it's basically what it looked in September. Oh my god, this is just crazy. Yes, things are already happening in August for people, right? But it's September that keeps coming through really, really strong when I'm channeling, and when, yeah, it's just interesting that there's something about September where I feel the energies are going to reach. It could even be, you see, because the autumn equinox is in September. You know, around the 21st usually. So I think there's a balancing out of the energies. But again, I do feel like, I mean, because I know twins are together now, but some twins will get together now. But it would just be a case of, like what I said, take it slow, get to know each other. I would say cultivate a friendship first. And the energies balancing out. But yeah, oh my, this is not just magical, but it is luck and right timing. 23rd of September. Oh, that's interesting. I was going to, wait a minute, now I'm getting confused. I was thinking it was August, because I was going to say that is when it changes to, pretty much, when it changes to, from Leo season to Virgo season. Oh, because I kept saying September, I was actually thinking in my head Virgo season, but yeah, you know what I mean, because September is Virgo season, but it changes around then. So, but this 23rd of August, it's like, you know, this is the heightened energy of Leo season. So it's like, it's luck and right timing for these sacred contracts now. Wow. And group thinks, there's something about community here, keeps coming through strongly. Horn cactus, resourcefulness. I think, to be honest, oh my god, I was having a dream about, oh shit, this is quite dark now. I was having a dream about this last night. Again, I can't really say it any other way than what I was feeling it, right? I had, oh god, I wondered when I was going to bring this in. I had dreams that basically were merging into nightmares last night. I mean, all I can describe it as is it was like just quite, it wasn't just one, it was quite a few of my karmic people in my dream. And I can't even remember what happened now, you know, I genuinely can't. So I think they just want me to forget it. But it was just, it was just that feeling that I'm like, why like, go away? Do you know what I mean? It was just like these energies were like, so because I'm just being noticed, like, you know, the spikes, it was just like obstacles, the wall. It was just like these karmic energies. So when I woke up, like, I'm not kidding, like, I woke up, and this is what I said to you, like, I woke up and I clearly said, for all the energies that were in my nightmare, I'll say, like, to fuck off. Like, look, like, fuck off and leave me alone. Like, if you're not allowed me in my physical life, don't come and try and haunt my dreams. Do you know what I mean? Or that might be a bit much, but you know what I mean? Don't hang around me in my dream time. Like, go away. And you have to do that. You have to be strong about it. And some of you, that might not be enough, and you need to go to someone to clear it, which is what I do. If you feel guided to me, I clear dark energy, attachments, interference. I point out where the karmic energy in your life is, if you're missing it, you know, all that kind of stuff. What was I going to say? But I think they make that happen to me so that I can channel about it. But then also I had a random thing about it. It was like they were telling me, like, stock up your cupboards, like, stock up on your resources. But that's really weird. But they were, because it was like I was getting a vision of, yeah, like food shortages and that. So again, this is all stuff that we know. Well, if you don't know, like, you know, it's, most people know that is, you know, that is definitely part of the what's going to be coming about for people. So it's just wise, yeah, to make sure you do have that you're stocked up on necessity. It was specifically, it was rice. It was like, just have things. Don't go OTT, but just have things that if there were to be food shortages, you know, that you've got things there. I don't know. It just came back to me. I wish I could remember some of this stuff specific about the dreams, like but I can't. So next time I channel, if I remember, I'll say. But something what's significant just happened there though. I just watched I watched half of it, and then I just watched the other half of the Just Like That, you know, the Sex and the City series, like the sequel of it. And I channeled about this in the other one that I didn't publish. So anyway, I channeled in this other video about, you know, that she's just gotten back with what she now believes it's her soulmate, and she made a mistake. Like, she married the other guy, right, who he then sadly died, but it was like, she's basically like, I made a mistake, like, I should have picked you, which is basically what I'm saying. Like, I don't really, that is not the way that I look at life. It's like, maybe other people do, but it's kind of like, I just think you do what you're meant to do, and even when obstacles and that do come in the way, you know, you make choices and they have their consequences, you know what I mean? And then I think these sacred things come back around, these sacred contracts. And that's kind of like what happens in that series, which is why they're getting 37 minutes is my sign for follow your North Node. And it's kind of like, and remember, 3 and 7 is 10, 10 is endings, then reduces to 1 is new beginnings, and that's what's in this, end completion and new beginnings. Like, you know what I mean? It's crazy. It all comes back around, basically. What's for you won't pass you, like my grandma said. I said that in the last one. But yeah, in that series, it's like, you know, the person's the one that she's with again, the person's ex-wife is like, you know, don't hurt him. Like, I know what happened the last time, like, you really hurt him. And, you know, she kind of politely is like, you know, I'm well aware of what happened the last time, and I've got no intentions of hurting him. So anyway, she tells him, right, and he's like, God, like, I don't get involved with her boyfriend. She shouldn't be saying that to you. And he's like, and she's like, but what do you think about what she said? And he's like, I'm bothered about now. Like, I'm bothered about the here and now, and that's in the past, and what we've got going is good. And that's, I just felt it was for the twin flames. It's like, that's how you have to have that attitude. If you're always constantly going on about to somebody about the choices that they made and the consequences that it brought about, you can kiss goodbye to that. Who the fuck wants to listen to that every day? You want to put a nail in the coffin, it's over, and you want to start a new beginning and just be happy with your person. Do you know what I mean? That is what I would imagine most people want. And then look, and then this was, I don't know if this was, oh yeah, and I watched The Bodyguard. I loved it, by the way. I knew I would love it when I watched it, but I think I was just too young when I saw it before. But I watched The Bodyguard last night, so I did manifest it on the telly. I mean, is it Whitney's, has it just been Whitney's anniversary or something? I'm assuming it must be for the Whitney things to be on the, I mean, if it isn't, that's kind of nut, but I'm assuming it is. But anyway, I'd been saying I wanted to watch The Bodyguard again, and I caught it, so I did. I stayed awake for it all, and it was just beautiful, really, really amazing. But again, kind of sad. because they're pulling out the word sacrifice up there, and it's, you know, the words that say, I will sacrifice. And that's really what the whole film is, eh? It's like, you know, he's sacrificing his life to save her, so it's romantic, but it's like, fuck me, man, there's a lot of pain in it, and it's just, and I'm not going to spoil, I mean, I know it's really old, but it's quite interesting, because although I hadn't, to my best of my knowledge, I hadn't ever properly really seen all of that the whole way through properly. I bet I probably had, but I don't even think I had, because I don't like shooting and guns and all that kind of shit, and, you know, but I knew, but the person that, you know, was behind the biggest bit of it, like, I just knew right from the get-go. I felt they made it kind of obvious, actually, who was behind a lot of it from the get-go. But that might just be me, but I think it's obvious when you first start watching it, even if you'd never seen that film. So there might be something in that maybe it was obvious to, like, other people around you that there's someone in your life not to be trusted, or that didn't like you when they made out they did. Like, because in that film, it's like, never mind not like, it's like the person hates her. And oh look, spiritual was just hiding there. The spiritual connection was just hiding. Faith, God, deeper meaning, spirit guides, angels, protecting your relationship, spiritual awakening. Yeah, someone's spiritual awakening to the sacred contract. How's that for God? But yeah, anyway, no, it was beautiful, but I don't know, I don't think this is from that film, so fuck knows. I think it must, it was actually on that, oh God, it was on that magic programme I watched with my niece. We're both at it. Oh, there's something in that too. I said, look, I think we need to stop watching this. You're getting a bit addicted. And then, of course, she's only 5, so I had to explain what that meant. I went, it means when you're doing something a lot and you basically can't stop watching it. And then I gave her another example I can't remember now, and she was like, oh, but I like it. I was like, yeah, I know, but it's not good to watch this much TV, basically. But you know, you could, but then I thought, I wonder if that's an analogy for people that have got addictions of other kinds. Like, you know, you've got to find a balance. Let's just enjoy today and not worry about the future, you see. So that's kind of like another vibe of what I just said about Sex City, right? I've not even read the Rumi card. What else do we need to know? Right, I'm sorry. What the fuck? So, spiritual love besides sacred contract. Jesus Christ. I think, look, can I just do that for a thumbnail if that's really strong, isn't it? And look at look, sacred contract, it's a spiritual divine love, and also I always say lily's really significant. And again, lilies and roses are to do with Mary Magdalene, which is energy I'm always channeling, which I only connected the dots with that when I went to the Rosslyn Chapel there. But I do feel Lily's going to be a significant name for some folk out there as well. But I mean, I know it is for some, but it's like, look at this. There's been all these obstacles and walls put up between a divine sacred contract, a divine union, twin flame sacred contract. And because of the walls and obstacles and illusions that can be put up to both people, choices get made and then they have their consequences. And it's all to do with luck and right timing, or sometimes bad luck and wrong timing. God, right, what else do you need to know? Out of all them though, that flew out. So it's worth all the confusing chat at the start about it's only because I've seen Tina's comments, I haven't replied back to them, but it's easier for me to reply like this. I'll reply as well, but it's just yeah, how interesting. But if that hadn't happened, I wouldn't be. But look, May, something significant about May, so it could be someone's birthday, something significant could happen in May. I did mention the 20th of May earlier, so it will be significant to someone. Or it could be the upcoming May, something significant. Time to act. So I feel it is about somebody's being told that it's time to act if you want this sacred contract. Like, this is coming to a close. And it could even be, see, even people that don't know about the astrology, because there even be people that don't know about astrology that even miss this bit. But it's kind of like, it could just be intuitively feeling that end of that Venus cycle closing, that 8-year cycle, and something new beginning. Fear, worries, tense situations, dagger. Yeah, and I really do feel it's like someone's feeling the fear about feeling like, I don't know why it's time to act, but it just feels like it is time to do something. beware of greed. Pig, I mean, it's like the pig could have meaning for some other reason in some way, but I feel it's about, I do feel for some people it's like they've went down, they've made choices and made a certain path because it made sense, like perhaps it was to do with, anything in that sort of area, like following the money. Don't necessarily mean getting together with people for money, but it can just be like, it feels like, picking, it feels like that kind of very kind of logical, like left brain thinking of, this person's in a similar field to me, they make a similar amount of money, if I join up my resources with them, this resourcefulness was somewhere, is it not here? That's going to make the most sense, and it's not so much greed, but it's like it's not making choices from your heart, whereas a lot of these sacred contracts, it's quite different. It's like, a lot of the time you can be really quite different, like someone can be quite focused on success and money and all that kind of stuff, and the other person just really isn't bothered, is what I see a lot of the time. But then it's like, you should meet somewhere in the middle. Like everybody, I don't know about you should want to be successful, but you don't exactly, nobody's like, oh, I want to be a failure in life. Do you know what I mean? It's just success is different. I say this all the time, that success is different to different people. Some people, a success is being able to keep a roof over your head and being able to maintain your mental health and have food in the fridge and have a smile on your face and be the person you love. And you know what I mean? Some people, I know some people that are, completely not utterly in love. But, it's like, it's not all to do with like things to do with money, and not at all. I can think of quite a few people. I'm even being shown some twin flames now, and it's like they are what they consider success, but it's not because of money, and that's what. So I don't know. There's something coming about there, but then the irony is as well. Like I say, when true twin flames get together, you often will attract a lot of money because it's like the different energy that comes about from being together. Horse, oh my god, horse, short journey. Horse keeps coming up in the shorts, so there might be something about a horse that's significant, or in fact I know it's very significant to some people, but it's also about freedom to me, the horse, and it just, the short journey. Someone could be making a short journey. They all fell on the floor. I'll pick the ones that fell up, right? Oh, that's what we like to see. We've got the sun in November apparently. Look. Happiness. That's what we like to see. Happiness and well-being. Periods of prosperity and abundance. Look at what I was just saying. It's like, because you're truly happy, the prosperity and abundance comes. And it's time to get out of a situation, right? I've never seen that card before. That's pretty much, that is not clear as mud, like the rest at the start. That is, but you see, that even means something. It's like, it's time to get out of a situation. It's like that, some people are in false contracts, or they've already gotten it, and it's like, it feels like, you know what it feels like? It feels like the counterfeit. It feels like people that were duped by counterfeit people, like posing as the one, and they were the greedy ones. That actually fits. Won't be for everyone, but it will be for some. And now it's like time to get out of a situation. March could be significant, like absolutely anything that happened this March. That was the equinox, heightened, very strong energies. I mean, it's about, every equinox is about a transition, and it could be important birthdays, could be something to do with an older woman here, dealings or relationship with an older woman. November could be significant, and we've got teapot, which I always find funny. Deep friendship with someone of the same sex. So I'm getting the feeling it's like that's something about a friend can see where the real sacred contract is. So that's not going to speak for everyone, but I feel there's a friend. I mean, it's often a friend fucking interfering, but this feels like it's a deep friendship with someone of the same sex that has actually always saw who this sacred contract, teachability, but it's like, it doesn't, oh, that's interesting. It's like, it doesn't matter if your friend sees it. It's like, you have to see it when you're ready. Teachability. Drifter, experience in life that comes, and I feel whoever connected with what I just channeled there, it's like you or your twin was happier to just like be a drifter, like just experiencing life as it comes. Like, I'm happy, this is what I'm happy doing right now. And that can even, look, it puts a different spin on. Look, 1551, mirrored numbers, twin flames. Let's just enjoy today and not worry about the future. So I feel even you or your twin could have told, you might have both said it, like, look, let's just deal with what's happening now. Experience life as it comes. Made the choices, this is the consequence. Like, very practical. And now you're moving out of a stagnation. And it's a beginner's mind. 21 could be significant with a beloved. And I titled yesterday's video, Rest Beloved, Radical Acceptance. It's like radical acceptance of the sacred contract, divine union, twin flame. That's what I'm feeling. And now we're going to pull the Rumi card. God, that was all very, that are all the way behind here. But that was an interesting, I mean, they're always an interesting one because it's always different stuff. But I was just going to come on and do the Rumi card. And yeah. What is right? What Rumi card do we need? So like I said, it's not that this is necessarily for Saturday. It's just whenever it resonates. The lion and the deer. That's a powerful one. Celestial rose of Ma. Now that's significant because the now let me get this right. So the Venus, the Venus star point that August 2015 was 22 degrees, right? And because it moves backwards every couple of years, it now means that it's 20 degrees now, and then the next one after that will be, you know, another like 18. So it's kind of like, but that's interesting me because that's my degree is 22 degrees. So that interests me that it's like, yeah, like even now that's only a couple of degrees off of the important part of my chart. So yeah, you might want to check for that for you too. But yeah, that's significant for everyone because when that August 2015 happened, it was at 22 degrees Leo. So right, Sacred Soul Sister number 37. The synchronicities are just too much, aren't they? If you know, you know. Right, so right, the lion and the deer. When you enter the garden of the heart, you become fragile like the rose. There's a rose again. When you fly towards heaven, you become graceful like the angel. If you burned like oil, you become brilliant. When you become thin like hair, and yearning, your joy leads the way. I've no idea what that means. I read it twice. I still don't know. You'll be the kingdom and the king. You'll be paradise and the guardian angel. You'll be infidelity and you'll be faith. You'll be the lion. You'll be the deer. That does feel like very much like divine feminine, divine masculine, yin yang. Almost feels like, you know, integrating the light with the shadow. And it's like that whole thing that comes through all the time about the divine masculine can often look at divine feminine like they're this like angelic light, and that it's like, I'm going to poison you or something. Now again, this isn't like, this isn't, again, I have to stress that it fucks in my head when it's like, because a lot of the people I work with are women and divine masculine energy. It's, I mean, again, some of you might feel like that. Some of you might have felt like that. I just don't know. But for when I'm channeling the collective ones, I'm thinking of it as like a divine masculine man that is came from distorted energy and self-sabotaged and went off with loads of other women and shit like that, right? And or it doesn't even be loads of other women, but often is the case, or one other, you basically picked other people over you, and the divine feminine goes off on the healing path, and then it's like a lot of the reason why they take so long to come back is because they're just like, they're better off without me. I'm just gonna, you know, I'm not gonna make it like, yeah, I'm going to cause issues in their life. I don't know. It's like, this is what I've seen over the years, and other true twin flames say the same. So you're the, which again, it's just not true. It's because of whatever it is you've allowed yourself to sink in from society, that you're not good enough and all this kind of stuff, and or it could be your more immediate environment, or it could be people you get involved with, you know what I mean? So that's why. And look, the only thing I can see sticking out on this bit of paper is oh my god, look, the whole thing's important. All I could see is I deserve, but it says I deserve to have personal happiness and I accept it now. It's two deers, which are about unconditional love. I mean, June 28th might be so different because that was a while ago and that's the one that was sticking out, but it's like, this is what divine masculines are going to resonate with this. It's like you're getting to that point where you're like, you know, I do deserve this. Like, this is a sacred, they might not say it like that, but this is a sacred, meant to be contract. It is a sacred contract for me with my beloved. And I do deserve it. That's what I'm hearing somebody, feeling somebody saying, or you're going to be saying, or you should be saying. You're the lion and the deer. You're bold, fierce and vibrant. This is very Leo season. And you're silent, sweet and gentle. If I should come to you in arrogance, you roar at me until my falsehood quakes in fear. So, and the candles went out, so again, could be low energy, or something's come to an end of a cycle, like the whole reading. Just because this is about to come to the end too, because I don't want to make any longer than this. And again, I mean the video, but that could again be about people getting exhausted with how long this is taken. I often refer to it as a never-ending story, and it was quite funny. I just seen another synchronicity where someone else had referred to their twin flame journeys like never-ending story. It's true. It's fucking true. If I should come to you in arrogance, or you roar at me until falsehood quakes in fear, that's like a divine masculine going to a divine feminine with a mask on. It's like, you know, oh no you don't. Mask is sitting there. So terrified it gives up the game and love's conquest happens yet again. If I should come to you in surrendered adoration, open to whatever you may wish, you are so gentle with me yet. If you come and you drop the mask, it's a different story. Like a deer, you offer me nothing to fear or resist, so I too become sweet and gentle, loving, longing to submit to your tender ministrations. So then I do not fear my own errors. Oh, and then look at this. That's like basically how it started off. For even if I stumble into arrogance, I shall be made wiser by your magnificent roar and become humble. Even if I become weak, I shall draw secure, evoking the tenderness in you. Whatever is needed to keep me true to love is what you give me. For you are the holy lion, proud and mighty, and the sweet deer, gentle and as the mildest breezes of spring. And again, amazing because of it being Leo season. But also I would even say because of that appearing and it having links to that everything I've just spoke about. Pretty nuts actually. Hello my friend, do you remember me? That might be what your twin flame says. We are the oldest of friends, ancient soulmates, and I saw soul sister as well. Acquainted over many lifetimes past and through many lessons learned together in the school of love. So here we meet again in this advanced spiritual training of the human experience, and the earth is our classroom. The moment is upon us to leave behind that which we've once known, the whole reading, and to open up to the great mystery of life again. And that's also why they made me watch the Sex and the City thing, because that is, again, if you've watched Sex and the City, even if you haven't, that's basically the gist of it. She was with him at one point, she's cheated on him to go with the other guy, and she chose him, she feels like it was a mistake, and now she's coming back around to the one. It's the way that she sees it in the programme, you know what I mean? Our souls leapt from the divine oneness through the river of forgetfulness and now dive into a body and a life. What a journey that leap begins. Let us embark on this studious adventure together. You know what kind of reminds me? This is a weirdo. I just seen that flash up. If you've ever seen, oh fuck, that's so funny. I didn't hurt myself, but I just fell backwards into the wall, right? So it's like, I think that's about you might stumble, but you'll find your way back or something. But oh god, I can't even remember what it's called. It's all about Atlantis. I mean, it might even just be called. It's not just called Atlantis, but it's the one I channeled about a few months ago, and it's about Atlantis basically, right? It's got that Jason Momoa guy on it, and at the start of the film, it's like the dad getting together with the mum, who's like a mermaid person of Atlantis, and then the dad is just like your average Joe, like he's a lighthouse keeper, and basically it starts and it ends like that, right? But the whole thing is they're apart for like 20 years or something, and he every day goes at sunset or sunrise to see if his wife has come back, like his true love, and he does it every morning, and then spoiler alert, at the end of the film, he's doing the same thing he's done for the past 20 years, and there she is. And so it's kind of like, it's like what I just said about the Sex and the City thing. That might have taken them, 15, 20 years to come back around to one another, but neither of them in the film is like feeling like, they're not dwelling on the fact that what happened in the past. They just want to be with each other, like they just want to honour the sacred contract, the here and now. And then they're pulling me at that again, let's just enjoy today and not worry about the future. So that could even be for some of the twins that are like, not taking a leap of faith because they're worried about how it's all going to work out. But it's like, just live in the here and now. Don't dwell in the past. Don't worry about the future. just live in the here and now. But just take it slow again if it's right now kind of energy. Let us embark on this studious adventure together. I mean, it's always wise to take things slow, do you know what I mean? But again, with twin flames, I'm saying that and I'm kind of not believing it, because with twin flames, things do actually go at the speed of light. It's kind of like you can be apart from someone for years and years or decades, and it feels like you've never been apart from them. Let us embark on this studious adventure together. Let us honour the tiger and the lamb within each other, the lion and the deer. I can witness in you both the raging warrior who fights unbreakable honour and the healer who brings together those things torn apart. Again, a sacred contract was torn apart. Of course, for are we not all things, or are we not of human, angel, animal, spirit? Are we not of human and earth? Are we not heaven and earth? Are we not divine? And in being divine, being all things are divine. This, do you know what it reminds you of, right? This actually reminds me of some of the ones I catch around again that are like, but it's more channeled, more heavy, like, sacred contract was sabotaged and people are out to kill you, like, seriously, there is some out there like that, and to be honest, that they're not, that is, like, I mean, think about it, I mean, it is going to be I've just watched The Bodyguard last night, I mean, that's what the whole fucking film's about, somebody's trying to fucking kill her, like, she's got a fucking contract out on her head, so it's not always that deep, but it's like, that's what this channel is reminding me of. It's like, it was just, sabotage to a sacred contract. Anyway, that may be a bit dark for people, but just saying. Right, so, of course, wait a minute. So we are here together in the school of love, not for the soul who still adheres. And think about it was because people are jealous, because she was an amazing singer, and this is the thing that's sad about that, isn't it? Is it's just a film, but I mean it's not too dissimilar from her own. People were incredibly jealous of Whitney Houston. I think she lived a tragic life, really, beyond all the success. See how that fits, the money and the fancy stuff. It's and then she obviously died tragically, and then her daughter died. But it's that kind of feeling of, you might have a lot of money, but you don't have any freedom, and you need to be protected by, like, all these bodyguards, and because in case somebody tries to kill you. So it's not quite the same as some of the energies I'm channeling here, but I think they're using the analogy of, it's like, you might have this beloved sacred contract with someone, true love, twin flame, but it doesn't come out as pain, because it can take forever to get to one another, and there's a lot of jealousy, because not everyone experiences that kind of true love. They just don't. Therefore, they're like, how dare you have it? Even if that's just unconscious, and even if that's your nearest and dearest around you, which it often is, and it can be strangers too, it's so hard to get to one another, but it's not impossible. And there's many people out there that are already together, and there's many people that will be together. That was very romantic. And I just cut the deck and picked up that. Be ready to receive what fate has planned for you. So basically, I guess the message is, look, it's safe for you to love. Open your heart to give and receive the highest energies of all. I suppose the message is, oh God, and I've just remembered that. Wait a minute, did I put that on my phone? When I was watching that last night, right, there's a bit, she goes off in a room with another guy, and he, just lets her do it, because he's put a stop to it. He's like, look, I'm your bodyguard, we can't be getting on, kind of thing. And she's like trying to make him jealous, but it's because her self-worth is so low that she's trying to get his attention, she's trying to make him jealous. And it reminds me of what I've said before about it reminds me of that, it's definitely a twin flame journey, but it reminds me of in Sex and the City, when Samantha goes off and basically gets it on with her ex-boyfriend in the in a hotel room, and when she comes back down feeling, basically, she looks like she's disgusted with herself and feels horrible. Because even, and this is the thing, like, even when they're getting it on in the bathroom, you see, she doesn't look, basically, she doesn't look happy. Like, that's what's sad about it. And then, so it's not even like, so in some circumstances, it could be like, you get caught up in the throes of passion and you enjoy the moment, and then after you feel like crap. But in that scene, it's not even like that. It's like, I'm pretty sure she looks like she's crying. And then she comes back down and the lift opens and he's still waiting for her. Like Smith, the younger guy, because he gets it, that it's like, that she is in love with him, but because she's never been used to true love and somebody wanting to protect you and make you feel safe and love you for who you are, she just keeps going back to the pain of like being treated like a piece of meat and somebody just wanting you for a shag, basically. I mean, that was quite blunt, but that is, and again, I feel that's not just, that can go for women and men, you know, that resonate with whatever I said. I don't think I pinned it. Wait a minute, I'm going to put the bodyguard, because, right, here we go. Oh yeah, so she says, I've never felt this safe before. No one can get by you. So that's when they've just slept with each other. And she's like, I've never felt this safe before. But I actually felt it was like, it is for feminines to masculines, but it could also be like masculines when they're with a twin being like, I've never felt this safe, as in knowing that you aren't going to hurt me, kind of thing. You can live with it, or oh yeah, that was. Now I'm going to say something that might offend, but again, I swear all the time, but in this way it's kind of a bit raunchy. But they've just slept with each other, right? And he's like, look, you know, I can't do this. I'm your bodyguard, right? And then I thought it was funny because she was like, he says, look, you can live with it or you can fire me. And then she's like, but I can't fuck you. And that just was, you know, it's quite strong wording, but it's basically, it's getting across the point. Well, it's not really fair because they've basically fallen for each other. And he's like, oh, no, I can't do this because it's not professional. But also it'll be because he's afraid of the love. Yeah, and then I wrote that bit about reminding me of Sex and the City. So, and also, really, again, I don't want it. It's like I don't like the way the bodyguard ends because you're like, what does that mean? What happens after that? I've got all these questions. Did they set up home together and live the rest of their life? I don't know. Or did they just agree not to? I don't like it. Right, so, right. Where did we get to? We must be like lovers, you and I. If we're to take these lessons, we must be willing to become mad with passion, crazy enough to chase the great beloved. And even if it means forgetting who we are for a time, to have the sacred delight of rediscovery, breaking some rules and looking like fools. Well, what could be greater than becoming a fool for love? That will do for us, that will do well. Let us be fools for love together. So shall we become study mates? We'll recognise each other, even in all of our varied garbs, bright and sombre, wild and gentle. We'll become the most enthusiastic students of the school of love, urging each other to the ever greater feats of passion and devotion. How we shall outdo each other in the grand gestures and our unwavering commitment. This oracle brings you a special message. You're rediscovering a part of yourself that has been lost or submerged underneath more practical concerns. Wow, that does feel like what I channeled. Like somebody was being more practical. This is a more sensible way to go. Yes, I'm attracted to this person. Yes, I even love them, but it's not practical right now, so I'm going to choose this way. And now it feels like somebody coming back around to, fuck that, I'm going for what I want. This oracle, and I feel that's just the twin flame journey overall. This oracle brings you a special message. You're rediscovering it, but I just read that bit. Of course, if practicality is about survival, then learning to be your true self is most essential and practical. All other paths lead to death of the soul, yeah, and that's what I feel is what happened here. Like it's ended to obstacles and problems for someone. You're asked to bear the chaos of this rediscovery. It may be the talents from this or other lifetimes are reawakened. That's been coming up in the last few videos. Cause you some discomfort at first. That's a dark night of soul, even though they will ultimately bring joy and greater fulfillment. This discomfort may be around how those talents are best expressed, overcoming shame, guilt, doubt, fear and judgment. Basically, that is really significant because 8 years ago, with everything that I explained, right, with the what I said at the start, that was me. And to think about it, oh shit, yeah, I've just realised that. My business, I've had crystal clear visions for 8 years. So there you go. It's like, it's basically, I'm just thinking, I better know if I could start that in a Venus retrograde. No, I didn't. I started it, the start of the year of that year. But it's basically, do you mean it's kind of like, it's, although it would make sense, actually, oh, fucking hell, that's quite interesting. It would make sense to kind of roller coaster ride I've had with my business. I'm going to look into that. But anyway, it's all meant to be the way it's happened, is the point. But yeah, the whole point is I went through my dark night of soul during the start of that time. And then, but it's led to me helping people the way I'm helping them right now, and the way I help them on the other platforms, Facebook, Instagram, and people have, been led to follow me here, or maybe just found me here. And it's, if I hadn't went through the dark night of soul and the pain I went through, I wouldn't be able to help people with the wisdom I help them with, specifically about spiritual awakening and the twin flame journey. This discomfort may be around how those, I just read that bit. Perhaps what has been unearthed in you now is darker. Your sacred rage, oh, there's that term, refusal to accept disrespect in your life, your inability to tolerate lies and deception, everything I've spoke about here today as well. Again, just be mindful that in a Venus retrograde in Leo, you could be, dramatically lied to, actually, because Leo is drama. So you could be dramatically lied to, or things could just be very dramatic. There's passion involved there, well then, you are the lion and the deer. That is nature. There is to be both, or you might be finding out where people dramatically lied to you, actually, with karmic sort of things and that. Like, I feel that's about twin flames too. Like, it just feels like I'm catching forever, like, in the stream of consciousness, either I'm channeling it or other people saying, this person's finding out, like, where they were lied to about you and all that kind of stuff. But that, I was channeling the exact same message literally this time last year. But then I got loads of confirmation about, like, some people actually literally just were going through the getting lied to and being deceived last year. But it's happened to different people in different ways for 4 years, or, but there was a huge wave of people that were caught up in deceptions of some kind last year. And I feel that's a lot to do with these detour sort of things. Well then, you're the lion and the deer, that is nature. There's both in the world. You're not becoming contradictory or hypocritical, you're becoming whole. And again, it's about, integrating your light and your shadow. It's 111, things are aligning. This guidance, the guidance this oracle brings you is that you shall prosper most now if you're willing to unbecome what you believed yourself to be. Yeah, so it does feel like that's what is happening for whoever resonates with this. Like, perhaps you even got into a sacred, like, perhaps there's even people that married somebody that you're like, Christ, I wish I never married. I mean, let's face it, I spoke to loads of people who are like, I wish I never married this person. But again, even if you feel like that because it turned out to be a nightmare, it's like, you learn from it. So it's kind of like, but that's another spin on it. It could be sacred contracts that were made are now breaking down, and karmic justice is coming about, and you're being led to the true beloved. It might not be a marriage, it might just be a relationship, or a family or someone, or something like that. It was never really true anyway, that view, that you believed what that was. It was partial at best, and just a view, an identity, not a genuine reality. Some of your previous sense of self shall likely come with this transition into the fuller experience of your being, and some of that previous identity shall be shed as far too limiting. It just won't feel true to you anymore if it ever did. Again, some people that married somebody just because it was sensible, it made sense, practical, a bit like the stories I've told over when I've met people I've known in my past life, like when I was younger, in clubs, and they've married someone, but they're chatting me up, and I'm like, and this has happened with a few different people, and like I said, it just makes me laugh, because in these scenarios, I ended up basically, like, effectively counselling these guys, being like, why did you marry somebody, like, if you were going to do this, like, not giving them a hard time, but just being like, look, I'm genuinely interested. And the answers I got were just really interested. You know what I mean? It was just like, well, that's just what you do, or that was the next thing to do, or that's what was expected of me. And it's just terrible, isn't it? And I just looked at the word expectations. So, it's like part of the programming. So just make sure you don't fall into that if that's fitting for you. Or if you did, again, you learn from it, and it's all part of the plan. Right, so any crisis or confusion this brings you shall be temporary fuel to ignite the divine fires within. They simmer into your life, cooking you from within, bringing all the flavours, spicy and sweet, bitter and sour, into the perfect balance, so that your being, your presence becomes an exquisite dish served up as divine feast. And that feels, oh my God, the last card I pulled yesterday was about the divine feast as being prepared. And this is saying that too. And it's the perfect balance in coming about, like the good and the bad, the ugly that you both went through. Your being will hold all, for it holds all within it. And it's about, if you didn't go through the shit stuff, you wouldn't appreciate the good. So if you didn't go through, and shit might be a bit harsh, but if you didn't go through the painful times with whoever else before, and however many people that is, you wouldn't, or just being alone, you wouldn't be able to really value the twin flame connection, like having to, wait that out. The two is the sacred, being two people choosing each other in this passionate embrace. You shall become nourishment for the world in perfect balance. Your being will hold all, for it holds all within it. It will deny nothing and become a tonic to feed every taste, every appetite, every hunger, and every deficiency. What an extraordinary sublime meal you shall be. How your presence shall nourish the world, and it begins with shedding the either and or the or, and recognising instead the all. And that's what I'm saying, like all of you has led to this moment. What are you going to do in this moment matters most. How your presence shall nourish the world. Oh, I read that bit. With such wild permission for unconditional love, you shall thrive in your beingness and feed the hungry world with a meal complete, satisfying, and exquisite. That means something, that the last one was about the meals being prepared, and then this is talking about it again. So here's the sacred honouring ritual if you want to listen up. Rumi, who loves me unconditionally, bear witness to my declaration now. I honour the spiritual maturity within me that bestows upon my consciousness this sacred task. I have accepted the fundamental goodness of my being and can now cast aside all notions held of myself and acquire into my wholeness. What nestles alongside this goodness? All, of course. I am unafraid, I honour my heart, and it is big enough to hold all my nature within its graceful light. I witness my darkness with compassion, and I become able to dance with all of my being, light and dark. In graceful acknowledgement of my divine wholeness, the gentle acceptance of all of me now brings me at peace. This acceptance allows the divine to live fully through me as a vessel for the great mysterious plan unfolding upon the earth. With reverence, grace, and surrender, so be it. Sit quietly for a few moments and gaze at the image on the card. Notice the colours and the interplay of the of the light and the dark that create the beautiful image. This represents you, all light and all dark, and your twin, I would add in, would have no art at all remaining, only extremes. And twin flames are extremes, polarities, and it's about balancing that within the both of you. And you'll not be brought together until it is not together properly, and it won't. And if basically, yeah, it won't be complete until there's that healthy balance. Because what I'm just thinking of is when people do manage to get to each other and things just keep going wrong, it's because it's not time yet. But you were still meant to go through that to learn from it, people that applies to. It is in the interplay of light and dark that enables the living art and progress your soul to come most fully to life. When you're ready, simply say thank you. You've completed your ritual. It's kind of what it reminds you, right? It's kind of like, if anyone ever thinks, oh yeah, I'm in union, but you kind of know in the back of your head, this can't be union because I know I've got a lot of healing to do and I know my person's got a lot of healing to do, then that tells you something in itself. Whereas when you've actually went through enough of it and you're like, yeah, I've had enough, I'm surrendered, but there's a bit of peace with it as well. That's when you can be at peace that you have went through enough to actually be together and do the rest of the healing together, because you'll just sort of feel it, it'll be a humble knowing, but you'll know it. Whereas if you it feels like, oh yeah, we're in union, but it's kind of like something still feels a bit off, or you're not fully talking about everything, it's because it's a reunion. And there's nothing wrong with a reunion, it just isn't the union, you know what I mean? Yet. Now I'm going to shuffle these cards. God, I stood here for a while, didn't I? It's alright though. Right, this isn't even the whole deck, but the right cards will come out. What have we got for Divine Feminines that resonate with this, regardless of gender? Twin Flame Facilitator, Expansive Growth. But that makes sense to me, because like that resonates with me right now. I'm a Twin Flame Facilitator in the way that I help the Twin Flame. That's my job. I'm facilitating other people's expansive growth on this journey. And helping masculine twins, regardless of gender, through big changes to release their lower self, the distorted perceptions that they have of themselves because society and whoever else around them, or you. Divine Masculine is the same fucking card, and they're picking up what I'm putting down. Do you know what I mean? The masculines out there that listen to my wisdom that I've learned on my journey of the 8 years, and that was very pertinent to this video, of helping people look beyond the illusions in their life. The illusions, I just made up a word. Change your perception. Yeah, hopefully I'm helping you change your perception of yourself. The low opinion that you have of yourself. Hopefully I'm helping you to see the good in you, the light in you, so that you can receive your gift and nurture you. Give yourself more self-love, nurture your inner child, and receive the gift, which is your beloved. And you can only receive that properly when you allow that, when you allow yourself to see beyond the illusion of all the tricks and of all the tricks of this journey, and you're like, you know what, I do deserve this. I deserve joy and delight. You can't see that. Wait a minute. I deserve joy and delight. I deserve to be happy. And I'm going to open my heart to joy. And I'm going to go and get my true sacred contract. Right, okay, I'm ending it now. Please like, comment, subscribe, book a personal session. See you later. Bye.